Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to House of Footy. We are back again with a full house. Your host for today is Ray, and alongside me is Gio
Yo, yo, yo.
and Mac.
What's going on today, YouTube? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
And on today's podcast, we are starting our pre-tournament coverage of the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Before we get into it, don't forget to follow us on our social medias. That's both on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is at house_of_footy. Also, don't forget to rate, review, and get in touch with us via email. We love hearing you guys. We love hearing from you guys, and we want you guys getting involved. Our email is houseoffooty@hotmail.com. In addition, this pod is going to be our first upload on YouTube, like Mac just mentioned. So please, if you can, subscribe, like, and comment on our YouTube channel. On this pod, we are going to cover some betting picks and hot takes for the upcoming World Cup. But in our feed, you will also see a few other pods that we will cover our group by group review, as well as a YouTube exclusive that will have us picking our House of Footy live bracket. But yeah, now obviously moving on to the World Cup, and we're just talking about this before starting the podcast for today. Gio, has it hit that the World Cup is taking place this weekend?
It actually has not. I think once the games do start, or when I place my first bet, then it'll start. Because then the ass cheek starts clenching, right? You want these bets to hit. So no, it hasn't really hit me yet. But honestly, I just hope for a good World Cup. Obviously, hearing about all these injuries.
Oh yeah.
Obviously the latest one being Sadio Mane.
Mhm.
It's tough, but either way, it's a huge event every 4 years. So, politics aside, I think this is still a huge spectacle around the world.
Yeah, and Mac, are you excited for this World Cup? Are you ready?
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's been a little bit unusual because I've been in Ronaldo mode these last couple days, and after him hearing that he wants Arsenal to win the title, it's you just locked in for a second. You're gonna feeling the waves and the emotions, but to be honest, no, absolutely excited and can't wait for it to get started.
Yeah, myself too. I'm very excited. So let's go straight into our predictions. And for this part of our predictions, we're going to predict firstly the Golden Boot winner. So for myself, I'm going to start off. Honestly, guys, I'm going to have to break it to you guys. I have no one else but one name in mind, and that has to be Lionel Messi.
Oh, this man, this guy. So you think he's going to score enough goals? Then he would be because I don't know. I see him a little bit more as a playmaker this time around, given his position on the Argentina team.
Fair?
You think he's what? Is this like set pieces or like because he's taking the penalties? What do you, how do you foresee him winning this? Like
So that in itself, yes, set pieces, penalty taker, definitely. But also they have Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland in the group. They're gonna win all their games. He's gonna be on the score sheet, and that's my prediction. He's gonna get at least three in the group stages, and then they're gonna go on, and we'll talk about that later. But he's my pick. What do you think, Gio?
I can't say I didn't think about that looking at the groups, but not a Messi fan, so we're not
Yeah,
gonna go
right.
with Messi. Um, but since we're not making bold statements, because Ray's not making bold statements here, I'm gonna go with Kareem Benzema as
Ooh,
the Golden Boot winner again. Like logically speaking, I use the same logic as Ray did. Group D,
yeah,
France, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia.
yeah.
Look, I'm. I think it's a pretty safe bet. I mean, I don't know who Mac's gonna pick, but hopefully it's a different one. I had another person in mind, but hey, let's see what Mac has to say.
well, for me, I absolutely love that you guys didn't take my pick because I feel like I was very fairly comfortable in terms of who I think will be able to close this out, and I'm going to go with Neymar. Reason being, I
Ooh,
think his group is just as Ray kind of highlighted out, uh, quite easy to be able to compete against because he has, if I recall correctly, it was Cameroon, which I easily could see him
yeah,
walk away with a hat trick on that, and Serbia and Switzerland. Um, the key part when you're looking at this is that if you look historically since like 1978, I think the highest Golden Boot goal scorer scored 6 goals. So it's not that many if you really think about it. So you really just need to be able to make sure off the group stage, can you get maybe 3 or 4 goals? And then in the knockout rounds, just add another one, too. You're at what you really need to be at. And I could see Neymar walking out of group stage and knockout, then the first round of the knockout round, because I'm going to assume Brazil's going to finish first here, and then I'm going to go the easier opponent. But be in a position to already be at that 5-6 goals very, very earlier on, given its level of competition. The only other thing got me thinking was, of course, Messi in regards to his position, but I feel like he might end up being more of a playmaker. So that's why if you would give me my favorite odds, it would actually be Martinez, Sandro Martinez. Sorry, no. Martinez. Lautaro Martinez, yes. I feel like those are the best odds right now because if, for example, Messi is that playmaker, he has historically been comfortable taking penalties. If he's in his mood, I could see him, and if they have a good tournament, I could see him doing very, very well. And he has good odds. So that's something at least when I was thinking about, but you got to go for one of the big boys here. So that's why Neymar.
Okay. I want to just go back to Gio's point. I definitely, a big Real Madrid fan, and so Benzema definitely comes to mind. But given the fact that he's coming back from injury, it sounds like Gio, does that at all give you any doubts?
Does not concern me one bit. Do you see the state of his pinky finger? Do you think he gives a damn?
Right.
He is playing, and he's gonna drop a hattie on Tunisia, bro.
I feel like if you were saying he's like Benzema's coming back and he's like missing a foot, you'd be like, not worried at all. It's completely okay. Mr. Real Madrid.
Ballon d'Or winner. Address him with respect. So, but honestly, I had your guys pick 1, 2, 3, in no particular order. Based on the groups. It was very clear, but Mac does bring up a good point with Lautaro Martinez. Who I would say is the talisman of Argentina. I do see Messi kind of playing a role like he does play at PSG, more of that facilitator, and let the younger guys pull more weight. So yeah, no, it's gonna be fun to see.
But what none of us picked Kane. I don't understand. Are we all England fans here? What's going on here? In terms of the odds maker, we're looking at
just Mac. Are we all? Or
I'm just saying. I feel like we could be united on this, Gio. We don't have to like divide. Okay, we're supporting England here. We could be united in this, like they are. Anyway, so like the best odds that we have here are Kane and Mbappe. We're in terms of the odds that we're looking at as being the two favorites, and none of us picked them. So I find that a little interesting, or you think that maybe they are not going to do well on the respective teams. Gio?
Not that I don't think that. It's just sorry, I just have to revert back to your Neymar pick really quick. The only reason I didn't pick Neymar is because I know the Serbs are dirty people. And they will go for legs. They will go for legs.
You're not wrong.
They play aggressive football. And if Neymar starts dancing, if any Brazilian starts dancing, it's not going to be a good look. It's not going to be a great look. It happened last World Cup too. Like I mean, he was dancing. I think it was against, I'm not sure if it was Mexico or something, but he was dancing and they had to go for his legs. Even though he flopped, hey man. They're gunning for him. I think everybody's gunning for him.
Fair. And honestly, I would have picked Kane too. I think he's gonna get on the score sheet for sure. It's just I don't know if England will have the volume of goals that your Brazil's or Argentina's will have. So that's what kind of kept me away from that. But you know what, guys? Let's quickly move on to the next category. I guess Gio, Golden Glove. This means keeper, I guess, with the most clean sheets. What do you have for your prediction?
For my bold prediction, I'm actually gonna have to go with. Well, I actually don't know who's the starting one. So I just have to go on a whim, I guess. I'll go with Allison.
Right.
Because it's still a toss up who's really gonna start. They're both, of course. The other person I'm referring to is Ederson. Both fantastic. Both can play fantastic long balls with their feet. Both very dependable keepers. But if I had to pick one as a better shot stopper, I would say it's Allison. So I would put my money on Allison on this one.
Okay, Mac, do you have something similar or something different?
I have something different. I was taking a look at the history of this award, and there hasn't been a non-European goalkeeper winner since 1990. So it's been quite some time. It's been very Eurocentric, as well as there has never been a goalkeeper that has won the award twice. And so that's in two separate World Cups. So I actually think that's going to change that second part of it. And I'm going to go with Manuel Neuer for Germany
Oh,
winning his second one. Given how I feel like even if they finished second in their group and had a decent run because they're in a group with Spain, which I think is potentially a toss up and we can debate later. They could be in a position for a deep run, and that's all you really need to be able to be potentially eligible for this award. And I feel like he's been kind of off the world stage in a lot of ways right now. A lot of people have been focusing, especially in the Premier League, of the Edersons, the Allisons, the Aaron Ramsdales, those level of goalkeepers where he hasn't got maybe the same level of shine. So right now he could be in a position, I feel like, to kind of cement himself as one of the best goalkeepers of all time if he has a good tournament.
okay, fair. I like that. Gio, I was honestly gonna pick. It was gonna be Allison for me as well because I think he'll start. But are you guys ready for my first hot take of the day?
Oh no.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
It's gonna be Ramsdale's compatriot, Jordan Pickford, who's gonna have the most clean sheets. This. Hear me out.
I'm gonna yak.
Iran, the USA, and Wales in the group. That's 3 clean sheets automatically. And then England will play likely the second place team in Group A, which will probably be either Senegal or Ecuador. That's another clean sheet. That's 4 clean sheets. Hey, that's wrapped it up. That's all I gotta say.
Mathematically speaking, that could play out to your favor, but
Right.
I just don't trust Pickford's size worries me.
Pickford's gonna literally drop the ball.
His size work, especially on free kicks. That worries me. I mean, US isn't horrible. I mean, they got some pace, but can't.
Hey, I love the pick. I love the pick, but I hate the pick at the same time, if you know what I mean. It leaves me very, very conflicted. But it'll be interesting to see how well he performs, or if for whatever reason he has a poor outing, does he get a quick hook?
Ooh,
But we'll see.
interesting. No, but Gee, honestly, when Gareth Bale scores against England, top off, absolutely celebrating in front of the fans because obviously
Oh.
that relationship there. But yeah,
100%.
you heard it from us here, guys. Any notable goalkeepers that we're missing, guys, before we move on to the next category?
Like Thibaut Courtois, maybe
Ah.
if you're a
Hugo
Denmark
Lloris.
believer, Kasper Schmeichel.
Okay.
I was thinking about
Okay.
goalkeepers like that. I was not thinking of Hugo Lloris. I thought I squinted really, really hard to try to make it work, but I'm like, no, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up.
But again, he plays in a weak group. I find.
Yes, but I feel like he's going. Even the last World Cup that they won. Remember the final when he kicks the ball against who was the striker again for Croatia?
It was Mandzukic.
Yes.
Oh.
I could just there's Hugo Lloris always has too many mistakes in him, even though he's a great goalkeeper, a great shot stopper. He's too many mistakes in him, and I feel like this France team can score enough that they don't have to worry about it as much.
Fair.
I hear that.
All right. I guess moving on to the last category before we take a break. Most disappointing team, Mac. Do you have a hot take for us here?
Yes. I don't know how spicy of a hot take with the spice meatball, but I'm gonna go with Netherlands. They're an easy group, so I can see them getting out of the first round, but I could easily see them losing to the second runner up. So that could be a Wales, that could be a USA, in the first round of the knockout round. And I guarantee you that is the furthest they go, even if they win it, because they'll be if all things add up, and they were to face Argentina, who if they were the winner of their group and make it past the first knockout round stage, that's where, in my opinion, Netherlands World Cup will end. So the furthest they get is the quarters, and I would be shocked if they the round of 16. So I would be shocked even if they get there. So I feel like that team. There's a lot of people talking about Cody Gakpo, Memphis Depay, who does not play for Barca at all. So how he's their main attacking star player is kind of weird, so it leaves them maybe very suspect in terms of their ability to score goals. I just think that they're lucky to be in Group A, where they probably have the weakest group, and that's probably the only reason why they get out. But overall, I think they will come away from this tournament as I would be surprised if they score then more than, let's go, 4 goals the entire tournament combined as a team. I'd be surprised. I have very little faith in them offensively. Even though their system, they try really, really hard to kind of cover up their weaknesses because they have great central defenders and holding midfielders, but I'm very skeptical in terms of if they'll do well.
Ooh. Okay. Before you go, Gio, I'm gonna give you my, I guess, most disappointing team that I think's gonna stink up the tournament, and that's gonna be Belgium. With Belgium, they had their golden generation, and a lot of them are getting older now. That defensive line, I had the lineup here. They didn't look great. Obviously, you have the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. Thibaut Courtois will definitely play a big role in their performances, but I just think it's if they do make it out of the group, which they are favorites, I don't think they're gonna make it past the round of 16. Just based on the amount of players that they have that I feel will underperform based on how they have individually performed thus far this year. So that's my most disappointing team. And you, Gio?
My most disappointing team, I believe, is going to be Spain. And let me tell you why. I think they are sort of in this weird stage where they're sort of rebuilding the national team, reforming that national team. Their defense is old as shit. One.
Yeah.
And their offense is they're young, they're fast, and those are all great things. But once you enter a tournament like this where turnaround has to be quick, what if they struggle? Who's the veteran presence that's really gonna try to bring them out of that struggle? Who's really gonna lead them like that? So I think overall, in general, they're gonna have a tough time. They're not in a horrible group either. They're gonna have to face Germany and Japan, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
Japan, you can never really count them out. They're a very fundamental side. You can say what you want to say about size and speed or whatever, but they got good fundamentals. They had most notably, they lost a heartbreaker to Belgium. Last World Cup 3-2. In the last minutes. And Belgium had a very lucky goal that game too when Jan Vertonghen scored from an absurd angle to even get them on the score sheet. So I think Spain's in for a tough group and a tough tournament, and yeah, I think they're going to struggle.
Just wanted to jump in quickly there. The man of experience that's gonna bring them out is Sergio Busquets.
I knew. I see. I was gonna say that too, but I don't want to. I don't want to have to throw. Ugh.
That guy is so brittle. I'm worried that he might not. He might not make it because of the turbulence on the plane.
That's fair. That's fair.
I just don't think, I just don't think he's really going to be out there like that, or be that big of a difference maker. He's gonna try and amp Gavi a little, but
Oh my god.
I
I feel bad for Gavi. His life is rough, except except for playing for Barcelona and making a lot of money. But aside from that, his life is rough. Poor kid.
No, for sure. But you know what? I can see it. Spain, you want some more established players, and I guess the coach really wants to do his own thing. So I can definitely see, like you said, if things don't work out offensively, I think they might only have Alvaro Morata, the only, I think, international out and out striker that's recognized there. They have the likes of like Asensio, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, Dani Olmo. Not real like goal getters, I would say. So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If things dry up front, that might be tough. But yeah, I guess is there any other teams you guys had in mind that might be disappointing before we wrap it up this section?
I want to say Portugal, but I think that they might have a decent tournament. But other than that, that's all I had. I'm sorry.
for later, I'm gonna say that for later. But another one I was gonna say was Denmark. I think a lot of their Cinderella story, hip hip hooray for Ericsson. Obviously, great for Ericsson. Overcoming something like that in your life is monumental. But I think a lot of the Cinderella run, can you reapply that into a World Cup at this stage? Even if they are favorites to, rank second in that group and get out of that group, the next round's going to be tough for them. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to make it too far in this tournament. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I think the Cinderella stories are done with them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll definitely. I think we'll definitely touch on that more as we go on. But we're gonna take a quick break here, guys, and then we'll be back with some more World Cup predictions. So stay with us. Welcome back to House of Footy, guys. We're gonna continue our World Cup predictions with the next part, and this one's gonna be interesting. This is what Mac has called the no shame hot take department. And Mac, since you brought it up, I think it's most fair that you go first. Give us your no shame, again, guys, no shame hot take.
Okay, so I just want to, again, if it doesn't happen, the whole point of the no shame part is we can just move past it and accept it. But I'm waiting for the scenes. It's going to come out of Group H, actually. And it's going to be the game against Uruguay and Ghana. This is my prediction. The score is going to be 1-1. Darwin Núñez is going to score the first goal. But in like the 89th minute, Luis Suarez is going to come on and take a penalty and score it. And just like completely celebrate right in front of all the Ghana fans. And just remembrance for his performance against them in the World Cup, South African World Cup. Or I want a madness from Luis Suarez in that game, one way or another. And there's one thing we can all agree on. Luis Suarez will never disappoint in mad moments. So I'm going to take that. So that's what it's a little bit different. It's not where let's say a particular expectation of a team or a player to do really, really well. It's for Luis Suarez to probably start a war at some point.
Yes. Hey, man. That's wild.
That's a wild. That's a scene. That's a scene.
You guys heard about what Suarez did, right? He apparently, so he's been playing in the Uruguayan league. He went back home to play in his domestic league to stay fit for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Hey, man, he's waiting for this picture, and something's gonna pop off. So Mac, that game, I'll definitely have eyes on that.
His celebration should be he should pick up the ball and like punch it, something like that. It's just you go all in, except being the villain. You know, that's my guy. You're gonna love Suarez.
My days. Oh my!
Or like bite the ball, something, Suarez. I need something in this tournament.
Oh man! All right. You know what, Gio? I'm gonna go ahead first here. My no shame hot take. It might be. It's kind of mild now. Now that I think about it, but hear me out. It might be interesting. Mine's gonna come out of Group E. Gio, you mentioned it. Spain might struggle. Germany. That team doesn't look settled for me. A lot of players are getting their first call-ups, and Germany with the last World Cup was quite disappointing. I'm liking Japan. They look pretty decent with the likes of. Let me just pull it up here, guys. Japan have the likes of Tomiyasu, Yoshida, who played in the Premier League with Southampton. In midfield, they have Mitoma, the Brighton player who's been playing very well. Kamada, who plays for Frankfurt. Kubo, who was popping off in the Spanish league. They have pretty decent players. And Gio mentioned Japan did quite well in the last World Cup. They just got knocked out in the final minutes of that game against Belgium. Hey, Asian brothers. Hey, Mac, you were there as well. Hey, we believe they're gonna make it out of this group. That's my hot take.
That's your hot take?
I thought it was that's very interesting. That's very I was going this might cross the line. Like if I squint hard enough, I could see them moving past. But I thought like that was crossing too many race lines there. I apologize. But my point being is I could easily see them having not easily, but they would be my team as like a dark horse potentially. They could be in the conversation for that. It's just tough. Spain and Germany in that group.
Yeah.
But it would at the same time you're kind of going at both ends where an underdog is going to do extremely well. At the same time, a Titan falls, right? So I like that pick. Sorry, Gio. Go ahead.
You guys are doing like games, and then he did a group. Listen, y'all gonna call me a dick rider. Mac already senses it. But I am predicting that Portugal, and not only Portugal will bare minimum, I tell you, make it to the semifinals. And Ronaldo, amidst of all the controversy, and he's had people, especially, if you're a fan, you remember those Bayern Munich Champions League games, you remember those Atleti
Oh
Champions
yeah.
League games, you remember the Juve Champions League games. Amidst the controversy and the pressure, Ronaldo will have a tournament of his lifetime. And he will prove a lot of doubters wrong. Well, doubters, whatever you want to call them. But Portugal will make it minimum to the semifinals with a lifetime of a performance by none other than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ooh.
That's my hot take. Amidst
Okay, well,
all this controversy.
I'm gonna jump in here before Mac does. You know what? Portugal going to the semis is not. I don't think is a really bad take. You know, they have a decent team, so I can see that happening. And with Ronaldo, you obviously everything. I can only think of the Atletico match where obviously like the fans are talking shit about him, and it's kind of like what is it like Michael Jordan who's like he makes up scenarios so that he has something on his back so that he can perform. Maybe that's what he did. So hey, I'm not sure what Ronaldo's gonna do. There's definitely gonna be eyes on that. So we'll see. But I don't think Portugal making to the semis is that bad of a hot take. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm 50% of the way there with Gio's take. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's the reason why they make it that far. I think the rest of the team is the reason why. I think he is just going to be kind of the beneficiary of all of other teammates' good work. And he's kind of going to be maybe that fox in that box. But of course, he'll get all the headlines for doing the least amount of work, probably, right? So that's very Ronaldo. So I could see that working out that way. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a good run in them. But the question for me would be: is the rest of the team who plays where? Unfortunately, the injury to Diego Jota might hurt their flexibility a little bit, but it does give some other players opportunity to shine with world-class talent. So sorry, go ahead, Gio.
If you guys want me to push it further, I can push it further. But I was just being modest.
No, that's your hot take. That's your hot take. No pressure. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, hey, just remember, Ronaldo, what he did to Spain, what he did to David De Gea that match. Obviously, not a great shot stopper from long range, and he had a poor season that season. But I'm talking that Ronaldo. I'm talking more.
Oh.
He just has a huge monkey on his back, and he has a huge target on his back with the media. And I think he just has a lot to prove for himself. And you know how much he loves himself. So why not bet on himself? And he's been betting on himself his entire life. So why not prove it on the world stage at the World Cup in Qatar? So
very interesting.
Of them all, for sure.
Exactly.
Hey, I love them all. I have one quick one that just I guess would be my runner-up for the no shame hot take. Quick one. Argentina's gonna win the World Cup, and Messi's gonna go to MLS straight after the end of the season. Because that's all. That's wraps for him. If he wins the World Cup.
Well, that's the only thing that's missing, right? He just recently won the Copa America, so that's it. Bro, that's the last piece of Exodia. And I think that's the last piece of and that's the same storyline for CR7. If he wins, he's going straight to the MLS.
Yeah.
Like I can't see it.
I think Ronaldo retires. I think if he wins, Ronaldo retires. I think Messi. I think that might enter the conversation. Does he retire? Immediately afterwards, or at the end of the season. So I like the MLS. I wish the MLS because then we could watch them. That would be great. That's a selfish take. I love the selfish take. Well done. You know what? Never mind. I like Ray. I'm on board with you. We'll take this. Okay. Just so you can have easy. It'll be expensive tickets, but I'm going.
Oh yeah, for sure. Any other hot takes before we move on from this part?
I have one coming up, but not yet. We'll save this for the next one, actually.
Okay, well, in that case, Mac, please lead us to your dark horse team for the tournament.
So I feel like there was no other pick here. I'm sorry if Gio is going to accuse himself of being a dick rider earlier. I will be a homer. I see Canada making it out of the group stage. Let's put it that way. I think they'll finish second behind Belgium. That's going to be my take. I'm going to stand by it. As well as if I'm going to go a little bit further than that, they had faced the winner of it's Group E. So that's the Spain Germany one.
Don't say it.
Slow down. If Spain finish first, they're gonna have a rough day against the Canadian boys. Like it's just because I could see Busquets losing the ball to a Davies and him just chasing air. It would be fantastic. I could see that matchup working Canada's favor. So is my dark horse team potentially sliding also into an insane hot take that I will definitely pretend has never occurred after the tournament? Absolutely. But I see Canada potentially, doing very well. So that's what I got.
Okay, hey man. I mean, we're all rooting for Canada, some more than others, evidently. But hey, we're definitely gonna be watching them and seeing how they do. So I guess for my dark horse team, and a little bit disappointed that you mentioned them as your most disappointing team, Mac. The Netherlands, I think, are gonna be a team to watch. Not expecting them to go all the way, but like you mentioned, they have an easy group, and then they face on the flip side if they're gonna get a couple wins in the group stages, with Qatar, Senegal, and Ecuador, gain momentum there, face the the runner up of Group B, and most likely win that given their momentum, and then is from there is just who has the more, I guess, informed and more cohesive team, and I think Netherlands has a chance to be that team. So that's my dark horse team. Not sure how you guys felt about it, but yeah, Netherlands to be my dark horse team. And Gio?
What about you, Gio?
Okay. So my team, dark horse team, call it what you want, call it favorites, call it whatever, is going to be Uruguay.
Ooh.
I think they have a decent. They have enough quality to cause a lot of defenses trouble, and I think if I personally think they will make it out of the group, I think they will have a time with South Korea. I think they'll struggle a little with Ghana, but general picture, I think it's going to be Portugal to top the group and Uruguay to come second. And Mac, if you don't mind, since you are the stat guy, who do who does second place in Group H face if they make it out the group?
You'll have to give me a minute there. I think because they go on the other side of the bracket, I think they finished the winners of Group D. I want to say. Let me pull it up. But I like that pick. But my question, I wanted to ask you, if they were to perform very well, does Darwin Núñez have to be their best player? Because I think we're going to get a good tournament from Verde Valde. We're going to get a good tournament from Bentancur. But they need that goal scorer up top, and I think Suarez and both Cavani. I think they're probably rotation bench pieces, not kind of the main man. So you need goals from Núñez. Do you think he's kind of the guy that has to do well here?
I think because of sort of who he's surrounded with, I think he'll be more of a tap in type of goal scorer for this Uruguay team, and I think he will be able to prosper from that. You'll have Valverde, who's definitely going to cross balls in. You'll have Bentancur, who obviously we've seen with Tottenham, thread balls through. I think he'll have a great time playing with those guys, and I think a lot of his goals won't have to come from his own creations. So I think he will benefit. Whether he's going to be the best player, I don't know, but I think he's going to get some fairly easy goals. And for him, I think it's just a matter of just focusing at the task at hand and just to put the ball in the back of the net. Don't think too much about it. Don't look for the pass if it's not there. Just do your thing. Just put the ball in the back of the net. That's why That's why Liverpool signed you. That's what you need to do to prove people that that's why Liverpool paid upwards of 100 million for yourself. So I think he's gonna have a decent tournament.
Yeah, but to answer your earlier question, just to clarify, if Uruguay finished second in their group, they faced the winners of Group G, and that's Brazil's group. So
Most likely Brazil.
yes, most likely Brazil, unless you have some
Hey.
strong faith in the Serbians, like
Hey,
or the
I
Swiss.
definitely do not.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna finish off this part of Block B with a player that will perform well and get their big move. And on the note of the dark horse team, I'm gonna go first here. Netherlands are my dark horse team, and as we Mac, you mentioned it, Cody Gakpo. He has 14 matches in the Eredivisie, 9 goals, 12 assists. He is 23 years old, linked with Man U. He's gonna get a couple goals, a couple assists, stand out in the Netherlands games, and get his Man U move for 70 mil. And so that's my choice for player that will stand out and get their move. What about you, Mac?
I really did not want to go close to home on this one because I could say Jude Bellingham, I could say Jonathan David. They're all just too easy for me and would make my heart feel too warm. And I feel like I've done that enough on this podcast. So I'm gonna go maybe not to that star level, maybe just a little bit below. But I'm gonna go with Moises Caicedo for Brighton. He plays for Ecuador. I feel like they have a decent chance to be able to get out of the group stage, especially with the Mane injury being reported today. So I could see them coming out and face a second. And if their team does well, I think he will be in a position who he's already had talks of him signing for either Chelsea, him signing for either Man U in the previous transfer window. And if he has a good tournament, given his performances thus far for Brighton as well, I think that would escalate even further where as early as January, people are going to be trying to be snapping up his signature. So it's not at that star level per se, maybe a little bit below, but I think he could be a player that looks to be on the move and having a good tournament. It's only going to help that.
I like that. Gio?
If I had to pick one, I think Mac mentioned it. He had to say his name. I think Jonathan David will finally earn his move out of France. I think deep down inside, he personally wants to play in England or find a new challenge in England. It's whether it just comes down to where he gets the offer from. Obviously, was linked with Arsenal. So always a chance there. But yeah, I think again with the group, I don't love Belgium. I think Belgium's defense is horrible. But yeah, no, they have a good chance, not even a fighting chance. They have a very good chance of getting second in that group. So yeah, I'll go with Jonathan David.
Love to see
I
it.
mean, we love to see it for sure. He was definitely one of my mentions. But Gio, did you have another player in mind?
Yeah, I wanted to say this person, but I don't think he'll get a big move. But I think he'll be released from the shackles that are Graham Potter shackles. I think
Ooh.
Hakeem Ziyech will perform at a better rate than just sitting on the bench, and he will earn himself a move out of Chelsea, looking for play time. And people are gonna see his quality again. What he has to offer. So I mean, like I'm tired of seeing him just wither away at Chelsea. Would
Yeah.
love to see him play, whether it's not in the Premier League or not. Sometimes you have to take a couple steps back. But hey, I would definitely want to see him perform well and earn himself a move away from Chelsea, whether in January or the summer, probably January. But yeah, I would love to see that.
Okay, I like that. Mac, did you have any other notable mentions for this category?
Oh, I did mention Bellingham because I think if they leave this tournament and he's their best player, I'm seriously he might get towards the edge of the conversation where he might be the most valuable transfer in the last couple years easily. He might be looking at like 150, 160 mil. Think about it, if he has a good tournament and what's the number at right now. So and that always inflates it a little bit because it's obscene, especially these English teams trying to bring back an English talent. It just
Yeah.
it's going to be a big number.
Oh, you don't have to tell me about that one.
So and it's every I think every every big team will try to sign him, and of course, it'll be his choice. And I don't think he'll be worried as much about the money per se. But I think just the transfer fee to be able to convince Dortmund to let him go, that number, if he has a great tournament, will become obscene. And I could see him having a really strong tournament.
Okay, I like that for sure. He's definitely going to be on the move, I think, irrespective of the tournament, but definitely could play a bigger role in that transfer fee. I guess an easy pick for me, with Mane not being, he's now ruled out of the World Cup. Another Senegalese player, who was linked away from his current club, Ismail Assar. Obviously, Mane is no longer going to be playing, and so that position needs to be occupied by someone. And who else than Ismail Assar, who's done it well in the Premier League, and has been linked away from his club. So he might pop off, fill in that void left by Mane, and then get his move at the end of the World Cup. So that's just another notable mention from my end there.
Love that pick. That's a great pick.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take one last break here, guys, and then we'll be back with our final predictions for the World Cup. So stay with us. Welcome back to House of Footy, guys. We're going to finish off our World Cup predictions with the last two categories. And the first category is Player of the Tournament, or Golden Ball. And Gio, what is your prediction for the winner of the Golden Ball?
I don't think it's much of a surprise, since I think, because I said in the previous recording that he would have the tournament of his life, and it's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. No surprises here, boys. No surprises here. Max shaking his head.
Absolutely no surprises. Yeah. Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But interesting. So you think that it is, how many goals do you think he gets in this tournament? Because he wasn't your pick for leading goal scorer, right? So to be able to get this, what is it just based off the name, or do you think he has to score a lot of goals, or what does he have to really do to be able to get it?
I think he won't be the top goal scorer. I think he'll be in the top 5 of goal scorers. I think this would be a very goal-heavy tournament, but I think he will be in the top 5. But I think he will have very timely goals, is why I think he's going to become the player of the tournament. Sort of how like Klose was scoring, very timely goals for Germany. In a similar aspect, but obviously because of his name, he will garnish more attention. So I think that's why he will win player of the tournament.
And obviously, given your prediction, Portugal will make it far. And with that prediction there, typically the player of the tournament goes to either a finalist or the team that wins it. So yeah, that's in line with your prediction. Interesting. I guess I can go with mine, and I guess it would be rivaling your prediction. It has to be Lionel Messi for me. I think Argentina will be finalists, whether they win it or not, and he's gonna have a bucket load of goals, and like you guys said, he's also gonna provide a lot of assists. So he's gonna be, if it's not Ronaldo, it's gonna be Messi. One of them is gonna pop off and gonna have the tournament of their lives. So that's an easy pick for me. My prediction is Messi. What about you, Mac?
So I have the same pick. I have Messi as well. I feel like Argentina might have, the only way this screws up for me when I was breaking down the bracket is if France does kind of shit the bed and finish second. And like I said, they finish and they play Argentina in the round of 16. But if all things end up being equal, I think they might have one of the easier paths to the semifinals. And at that point, it's 2 games for Messi to win the World Cup. How could you not get a little kind of emotional, a little bit kind of looking at, one of the best players, if not the best player of all time, being in the position to close out and reach the final, right? So I'm very much in the feels about that, and I'm definitely comfortable with that, and hopefully this does happen for him, because this, I guess, as we've talked about in this podcast, is the kind of the last piece of the puzzle, right? So, however, the interesting part is that there has never been a player that's won the Golden Ball for the World Cup twice, just as the Golden Glove. And of course, Messi had won it back in 2014 in that World Cup when he lost in the finals, when Argentina lost in the finals to Germany. So if he goes ahead and wins it this time around, he'll be the first player to win it twice. So that's another piece of history he may have.
Okay, yeah. but it could happen. And definitely these two players, like we're highlighting now, very likely it will be that their last international tournament. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. And our last category for today's podcast is finals. I guess finalists and the winner of the World Cup. And for me, obviously, I just mentioned it. I think I hope Argentina do win it with given what Mac just said about Messi. They look like they have a pretty decent team all around this time around, and with them come back off of the win of the Copa America, it just looks like a good transition for them. Having that on their back and really building that momentum. Messi's playing, I guess, at the top of his level again, and so that is my prediction for the winner. In terms of the finalists, though, I feel like it could be. Can they face France in the finals there as well?
Yes, they can.
Yeah,
If
they can.
France finish first in their group, they can face France in the finals.
Because I think it's gonna be France Argentina, that rematch of that. I think was it semifinals or quarterfinals?
It was the
for
quarterfinals
last
in the
World
last
Cup,
World Cup. Yeah.
where they did not have an answer for Messi. Sorry, for Mbappe. But hey, Romero's gonna take a yellow here. Lissandro's definitely gonna get a yellow here. They're gonna rotate the center backs, and Otamendi's gonna get a red. So hey, France is gonna make it there, but I think Argentina would just win it here. What about you, Gio?
Um, in my bracket, it looked a little different. I have, well, the way it played out in my bracket, I have Argentina and Brazil in the semis on one end,
Yep.
and I'm not putting my money against Brazil. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
have them taking out Argentina, and then obviously, like I said, Portugal is making a minimum of semifinals. I have them facing England in the semifinals, and I have them beating England, but I have Brazil winning the World Cup.
France Brazil.
Ooh.
What a classic World Cup final.
No. It's don't you have? You said Portugal
Oh,
versus
sorry,
Yeah,
Portugal.
so
My
Portugal
mistake.
Portugal versus
Portugal.
Brazil.
Portugal versus Brazil. A lot of Portuguese being
A
spit on
lot.
that
Yeah, I was
field.
about to say like the OG Portuguese versus the new
Yeah,
Portuguese. You
versus,
know,
yeah, versus the new
the
Portuguese. But
remix.
no,
Okay, I got you.
I think I think that's a pretty fun final,
For
especially
sure.
for a neutral fan. Just a lot of fun football to watch there. But I mean, that's a dream of mine. Hopefully, it does come true. But I would love to see that. But that's what I think.
Um, do you think if Ronaldo scores in the final against Brazil, Anthony's also going to celebrate with him when he goes to?
No, he's gonna go.
What?
No, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no,
Hey,
no, no, no.
I have a quick question before Matt goes. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. Over or under 3 tornadoes by Anthony in the tournament?
Are they called tornadoes? I thought it was the Beyblade, or was that a joke?
I don't know.
Okay,
There's
I'm sorry.
when okay, because I've seen some memes. It has him spinning until he becomes a tornado.
I
With tornado. But
love
yeah,
it.
over or under 3 here, boys.
Hey, it's gonna have to be over for me. They have a game against Cameroon and Switzerland. One of them is gonna be a blowout. He's gonna have a two there, so over three for me.
I would say you have to go over. I would probably he has at least 3 in the group stage because he's doing like Ray said, he's doing 2 against Cameroon just for fun. Like why not? You know, it would
I will lose it. I will lose
it would be absolutely amazing, and I could see him doing it. And then if he does it, let's say if you have your prediction and it's in the finals and he's Brazil's winning at that point and he's doing it then against Portugal, Ronaldo will fight him and like the transfer he's gone. He's not playing for Man U. There's no he's not playing for Man U ever again already. But now he's just lost everything because now he's gonna like try to break his leg. I can see
100%,
it.
100%.
Fair. But last but not least, Mac, give us your final prediction.
So I have the same winner as you, Ray. I have Argentina making it through. However, I'm actually going to have them beating against the 1986 quarterfinal rematch in that World Cup. Maradona had the hand of God against England. So I have England losing in the final to Argentina, and me being very, very happy that day, but also very, very sad. So that's my prediction. probably won't happen. Of course, that's just the nature of these brackets, right? It's like the college NCAA tournament bracket, right? It'll break very very quickly. But I'm looking at it and I see it. It makes me very happy and very sad. So
Could happen. Could
I'm
happen.
gonna go with this.
Okay. Well, obviously those are very, very early predictions and a lot of unknowns in the cup. So anything really could happen. And so obviously we're gonna cover all of that as well. We will also have our group predictions coming to you guys soon. So definitely keep an eye out on that. So with that being said, this concludes our podcast for today. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to us on our social medias. That's at house_of_footy. Also, feel free to get in touch with us via email. Our email is housefooty@hotmail.com. Definitely keep an eye out for those new videos and podcasts coming up very, very soon. With that being said, thank you, Mac, for joining us.
Thank you. Happy the World Cup is back.
Definitely. Gio, thank you.
See.
And thank you guys for listening. We'll be back soon. Peace.